What's up, everybody? Back again, Warp Charge Gaming with the Monday night talk show on 3D printing, tabletop alchemy. Yeah, I say Warp Charge Gaming, that's just because this is our channel, Warp Charge Gaming, but we have a secondary 3D printing company, secondary, primary, whatever day of the week it is, and it's called Tabletop Alchemy. We 3D print awesome stuff and help people kick up their hobby there, kick it up a notch.
Yeah.
I'm here with James, and I'm George. How's it going, everybody?
Yo.
Yo. So this is episode 7. We have continued to be on the quest to present content about 3D printing, because if we don't give it its own talk show, we will talk too much about it on other talk shows, like Thursday night, when we have a talk show every week at 9 o'clock talking about Warhammer 40K and other tabletop things. You know, I'm really pumped, James. I'm really pumped, dude.
Yeah, I imagine so.
If you guys have tuned in over the previous weeks, there's been a level of, I felt like a failure, a lot of defeat and sadness, and it continued for several weeks in a row as I continued to fail. And this week is a different story. I got the printers working. James has been printing gloriously, and I have to be jealous no longer.
Yay.
Dude. Like, I got this one picture. I'm going to throw it up right now. This picture to me, like, I was elated. Here is the picture. That is a sexy print of some 25 mil to 32 mil conversion bases, and it's nothing crazy, but they are clean. Clean. All I had to do was not be a dumbass and just get the original stock parts. Here's my test print. This was the first test print. And James, I'm really excited about the measuring tool. It did work, man. So you can see in this thing on the screen here, this was yeah, go ahead.
When you say the measuring tool, do you mean the feeler gauge?
The feeler gauge, the measuring tool, yeah.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah, I had a picture of it. I don't have it loaded. I'm gonna get it loaded. But it was a very inexpensive buy that you had suggested, James, on Amazon. I don't know, like $5, $6, $7. It has all these different measurement gauges on it, and I simply, there it is. I just needed the one from it, the one that's 0.2 millimeters, because when you're using a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, then you typically want to be 0.2 millimeters off the print bed, right, James?
That's as far as I know.
Okay. And the cool thing was, because I'd actually been struggling with this piece before, but I had great success with it today. And I think it's because kind of like the biggest experience I learned through sucking was taking your time, taking deep breaths, and being patient with the process of the work. I was often going too fast, stripping screws, stripping grub nuts, and really causing myself a lot of pain. They say not to actually make any replacements on your printer unless it absolutely needs it. And this week I've counted it like this as an analogy. If like you got to like replace the motherboard on your computer, and you're like, maybe it's time to upgrade, I'll get a better motherboard, and then you find out that like it doesn't work it's not compatible with your parts, or like all of a sudden you're having more problems, you need to get an update on a piece that no longer can be updated because it's obsolete or whatever. You can run into more problems when you go to upgrade something like that, and that's what kind of happened to me. And in the end, you like say you have that motherboard situation, you just end up getting the original motherboard you had, and everything works like it should. And that's kind of where I was at. I tried to get the all metal hot end, the Micro Swiss all metal hot end, which had mixed reviews of being a positive and negative experience to people online trying to print in PLA. The only reason to go to that all metal Micro Swiss hot end is if you want to print at a higher temperature for other types of materials, like ABS or whatever. So that actually had a lot smaller tubing going between the cooling block and the hot end, and it clogged even that much easier. And then also I went to a steel tipped nozzle, which I think you're using steel at the moment, aren't you, James? You did an upgrade?
I'm actually using brass.
You went back to brass. Yeah, we had talked on our previous shows that brass has a more consistent heat, but is a little bit more malleable, a little bit more easier to damage when you try to, you don't want to use pliers while it's hot. You can easily crush the nozzle or cause defects that make you get a bad print. So I went back to just how the stock was. I got, and for $44 off Amazon, I was able to get a whole new hot, cooling assembly with the fans, the hot end, and the sweet thing too is that it actually came when you got the replacement. It didn't come with the insulating tape around the hot end. It just came with the little sleeve. What's it called again? The
Sock?
Yeah, the sock. So it just came with a nice rubber sock on it. They didn't even do the tape. It was great because it came with a brass nozzle in addition of 4 extras. And it just, when I first tried to replace it with the all metal hot end, I broke the thermistor. And so it was great to just have the thermistor already plugged in all nice and neat. I just switched out the power cables, plugged that shit in. But I was blown away by the immediacy of the level bed by using this sweet measuring tool. Here it is on screen. You can see it's just this little thin piece of metal that has an exact height of 0.2 millimeters, the aim of trying to level the bed. A lot of leveling the bed is, you're doing it by feel. You're trying to get the muscle memory, trying to get used to gauging by sight, the height off the bed, and there's a lot of feel to it. But this really, once I went around I did my auto bed leveling, went to all 4 corners probably 3 times, even 4 times, just to really make sure I'm good. And I actually got an image here, James, of what it looked like off the bed. At least I thought I did. Damn it. Not all my pictures are ready. I could show you a really funny video of me cussing a lot as I was so excited. Let me give him a little play on this. You can here's the first print when everything got working.
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, only they can hear it, James.
Oh yeah!
But the
it's happening. It's happening.
Getting that perfect height off the bed. I'm sad that my pictures aren't all ready for you here.
It's happening.
I instantly was able to print with success, man. I didn't have to make any manual adjustments on the fly. The 0.2 millimeter piece of measuring tool there worked perfect. What'd you call it? What's the proper name?
A feeler gauge.
Feeler gauge. I highly recommend it. It was so smooth. We got to get you one, James. I know that you're a master at this point, but
I wouldn't even call myself a master. I a piece of paper.
It worked very effectively, but I was surprised compared to my typical gauge by eye. The nozzle was definitely more physically off the print bed. Like you could see it, see that distance off the bed more so than I typically do with my natural instinct. And I found it immediately got a much thicker output of the filament. Another thing that was great about the success that I felt immediately is when I did the load filament, I could just really tell the difference in the consistency of the way that the filament was coming out of the nozzle. It was a lot more it wasn't like I was actually getting it coming out almost hard before, and it was already coming out to where it was thick and it was already pretty hard. Like it didn't even have a chance to adhere to the bed in the state it was before. But this came out nice and stringy, perfect straight line. I don't know, man. I was just happy. so happy. They're singing their sweet songs, bro. Here's started printing a movement tray. I got a 20-hour print going on. Here's another nice clean shot of some beautiful triangular lattices in there as it creates the first bed, the layer porn, if you will. It felt so good, James.
Yes, I understand the feeling.
I was dancing with my dog, jumping around the house, high-fiving my wife.
Dude. I told you, she told you, you're eventually going to get it. You just had to go through a lot of extra steps that you didn't need to.
Yes, I suggest to everyone watching, just replace your standard parts, especially if you're on a CR10S, because the factory hot end is actually, most people will say that it's actually really good for printing PLA.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're back in business. Looking forward to creating a bunch more inventory and getting back on the wagon. The thing in the hopper, I got to print a bunch of Gasland stuff out. It's a game I got into recently, and there's a bunch of stuff to be printed. There's it's in a strange scale. It's like 165 mil or something. It's the same type of scale that train sets are in. And so there's some really tiny figures and weapons and things. Hopefully it prints okay on it for being such a tiny thing that I'm trying to print for a lot of these pieces. What have you been up to, man? What have you been printing?
Honestly, I haven't been printing a whole lot besides what you've just been test printing. I mean, that's kind of all I've been printing at the moment.
Yeah. We need to. The next thing we need to hoard up on is the square to circle conversions, which I have the file for. I'm gonna definitely make a big bag of those as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually I learned something. Even though I'm printing all good, I was getting a little cocky about my prints.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this thing's awesome!" So I stopped like cleaning the bed. I stopped even like putting solution on the bed for it to stick. I'm like, this thing is just a beast.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't see any problems until I turned off when the last print finished. And I don't know if you can see this, George.
I see a little bit of imperfection there.
Well, the imperfection is the fact that it curled off the bed itself.
Yeah.
It stopped putting adhesion. Like
Yeah.
it got the first layer to stick, but as it started to put hot layers on top of it,
Yeah.
that extra heat caused it to curl upwards.
Yep.
So a couple of these actually have these little curl points.
Right.
And it was kind of a nice little lesson learned. Because, I mean, these are just cheap and fast. It didn't happen to all of them, but it was interesting to know, like, you still got to fall through the motions, even though your printer might be doing some amazing work.
Sure. Actually,
even, like, the layers look great. It's just curled.
Yeah, that's definitely happened to me a lot. And, you know, speaking of which, one, here's just a fun visual aid of what those 25 to 32 mils look like actually on models there. They're super sweet. I really love these conversion bases. But it's so clean and so beautiful. But speaking of adhesion, I was actually having some struggles and getting frustrated not today, because today was just nothing but magic. But I was using, I had gotten lazy with the alcohol and glue mixture, and I was using just straight glue out of the bottle.
Oh, you went the opposite route as me.
That does not work well. And for some reason, today, like I said, I just took my time and I took all the appropriate measures, and I mixed a new set of alcohol and glue. And the way that it like films across the print bed is way better when you have the alcohol glue combination. And I think the alcohol helps it stick around a little bit longer. It doesn't like kind of evaporate onto the bed or something when it's just pure glue. When you got that alcohol in there, it seems the film remains there long enough for the initial first layer to be accomplished. I don't know why, but it seems to stick around better and the film is more consistent. And so don't take shortcuts is what you're hearing from us, friends.
Yes, no shortcuts.
You won't regret it in the end. One thing it was kind of nice. I actually lost a couple of the screws. The one thing about getting the totally stock replacement is it didn't come with any of the screws. And so luckily I had several extras, but I did lose a couple that I needed to actually take the cooling unit and attach it to the printer. But I was able to use some of the extra screws I had from the extruder to be able to put the replacement. It was nice because they were Phillips head. I was like, I really like the Phillips head screws way better than the fucking star nut kind or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Those mess up so easily, and just be super careful. And you got to really like try to loosen all the screws. But if you just start like cranking on one of the screws and you get it off, then it makes the pressure on the other ones that much tighter. And the moment that you start spinning inside of that thing, it is just such a pain in the ass to get those screws out of there. So don't over tighten, and make sure you untighten evenly around your printer. Oh, you know what else, James? Before I started printing, again, I was taking my time. I disabled the steppers and was moving the wheels. What are those things called? The little driver wheels down on the bottom to move the print bed back and forth.
Yeah.
I had one that was loose as hell. And so I just, checked all my, got all my ducks in a row. I was so happy to find that before I got printing and got frustrated. Got that puppy straight, lit that thing up, man, and God, I printed so good.
That's hilarious. I love it. I'm so glad you're getting these amazing prints finally.
It's such a relief. And like, dude, because like usually, you know, I wasn't having any struggle when I was in my best place, but it seems like it's a lot easier to print one big thing than a bunch of multiple little things. Like these converters we're showing you, we'll put like 25 on a print bed, and it seems like as it, you know, skips from one to the next, you're just like opening up the opportunity to have a chance of something not adhering well to the bed, or, you know, just like not that portion of the bed not being as level as just the overall center. So you kind of it's kind of risky in comparison to just printing one big thing. So I was so happy to print the multiple converters there and just have a butter experience. It was so good, so good. I can't wait to see him when I get home. Yeah, dude. I just want to stare at him and enjoy. It was the biggest smile on my face. God damn, I'm happy.
It has been weeks, that's for sure.
It has, dude. And all in time for the big move in here. We've been in Battleground since last weekend, and the wall is, I'm staring at a big hole in the wall. It is down. We're moments away. This Wednesday they're putting carpet down and finishing the renovations, and Tabletop Alchemy is going to be set up in the store. We'll get our glass cases up. We're going to trademark the brand, make it on an Amazon store. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that's all exciting.
Yeah, I know, right? There's, you know, we got a lot of different stuff that we're printing. There's definitely, just to make a quick shout out to Worlds Overrun. If you guys, they have a new Kickstarter out called the Inferno set. And we have a license agreement and have a ton of Worlds Overrun product, because we have all of their other Kickstarters basically. So if you guys are looking for any crazy terrain for your tables, I'll throw some up on the screen right now. We can provide that. If you have a 3D printer, go check out their STL files and get some, because they are sweet. Looking forward to, I don't think we have anything too, you made a belt buckle. I don't have a picture of that right now.
It is right here.
That's pretty wild. How's that design going?
So I've been having a hell of a time with this little test piece right here. It's, they give you a test piece for this file to, dial in your settings before you like use all the material to actually make the entire belt, and see how it flexes.
Yeah,
but I had to break it to make it flex, because my tolerance is not like well enough where it gives it enough clearance to move freely. It actually causes the pieces to fuse together from the temperature, and I had to break it to get this movement. So I'm still trying to figure out how to make it where I have the clearance needed to get easy flex, but the strength so that it doesn't break from like just normal wear and tear.
Yeah.
And once I figure that out, I will be able to print belts and put really cool belt buckles on them.
Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
It seems like a lot of work for something that doesn't have like a whole lot of like give back, but it's just the cool factor, you know, the rule of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it helps you be a walking advertisement at that point too. Just, I mean, not necessarily for Tabletop Alchemy or Warp Charge Gaming, but just anybody that wants to put a brand on your own belt buckle. Custom, it's custom, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I like about it. But when it comes down to like print time, I mean, it's like a day and a half to print an entire belt.
Oh my God! So, well, you're not printing. You're just printing the buckle though, right? Not the belt. Oh,
I'm printing the whole belt.
Whoa!
When I get this all dialed in, I want to print the whole belt.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah, maybe I can.
How do you adjust the you know, the width of the belt? Like, how do you tighten your belt?
George, I'm gonna help you out here, bro.
I'm impressed.
I'm gonna give you these files, and you're gonna do some things. Maybe not. But they have the designer of the file created certain lengths, obviously in millimeters, but it coils up on the print bed.
Oh,
and,
wow.
It prints all the hinges together, so it's all one piece, and then when you take it off the print bed, it will unravel. And then towards the top of the belt, where like any other belt will have your holes to put in your belt buckle, it has holes to snap in the other part of the belt, like it snaps together.
Yeah, I got the image now. Dang, that is pretty fucking cool looking, dude.
All right.
I mean, that's pretty cool, man.
So I've been trying to get this to work. It is not easy by any means, but this has only been up since like the end of the year, December 15th, and this file has taken off.
Dude, I dig it.
Made a great file.
That is super cool. I can't. So wait a second. That I got a picture of it now, like coiled up. It prints coiled up like that on the bed. One print.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Then you just print the belt buckle, but the belt buckle's not needed to make the belt work. It's just extra advertisement.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
No, I think that's worth. I mean, at $2 a print hour, that's worth $50, man. That's a sick belt.
Yeah, see, for me, it's like it's plastic. It's not going to last the test of time of a normal $50 like leather belt will.
Yeah.
So for me, it's hard to be like, okay, this is totally worth it. Where some materials are still like better off being made a traditional way.
Yeah.
But if this got down to the point where you could do this in 12 hours, 10 hours, because the technology of 3D printing is increasing, this becomes a very viable way to make fashion accessories like belts.
Yeah. No, I dig it, man. It looks way cooler than I expected on the actual wraparound part.
Right?
Yeah. No, dope.
I'm a big fan.
No, it's exciting.
It's difficult to print. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Like I have yet to print the entire thing, so maybe I might have better luck if I printed the entire piece. But because it does take so long and uses quite a bit of material, I wanted to get the test piece to work, get the settings dialed in before I ever attempted to make the entire belt.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. It's
So
exciting.
otherwise I just have a plastic coil.
Yeah, I'm feeling so confident. I'll just hit go, man. My printers are just singing like a dream right now. It'll be fine.
Dude, have a go at it. I already got the belt buckle designed. I just got to send it to you.
Right. Good call. You know, speaking of custom designs and whatnot, we're pretty excited. I'm almost finished developing our Patreon that we're getting ready to go live with, and one of the instant things we'd like to give the people that sign up as fresh subscribers is our access to our STL files.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty cool. Really looking forward to that. There's some exciting news coming down the pipeline with that. We're going to be offering all kinds of giveaways and things of that nature, but just a matter of getting it all set up. The infrastructure, the plan is ready. I just want to make sure I have a nice presentation to launch it all off.
Dude, I'm excited.
Yeah, everything's pretty damn cool. You're making, I mean, this is more of a Thursday night situation, but your jerseys look sick as hell. James is designing his jerseys for Adepticon coming up. Anybody out there in the world can, if you're going to be traveling to Adepticon, it's a chance to meet and greet a lot of us folks. And look forward to meeting you, that's for sure. We love meeting people that check out the channel. It always feels really great and makes us feel like we're actually doing something out here.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go to Nova. We're at Adepticon last year. We were still so fresh.
Yeah.
That I didn't get the experience of people knowing our channel yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited because, yeah, the local people know that we have a channel, but that's because they're my homies.
Right. Well, hey, we're growing every day. We just hit 2,002 subscribers a day. Thank you so much, everybody. If you're watching this show for the first time, hell yeah, fuck yeah. Thank you so much for watching us and being along for the ride.
Yeah, we were so excited just to get to that 1,000. Now we've doubled it. And 8,000 more to our next benchmark.
Yep. We got to get to 10K if we want GW to give us the early bird special on the releases there. We'd love to be showing off the Gene Stealer Codex before it hit the floors, but that's out now. Here we go, though. I got to be careful with saying things like Gene Stealer Codex and stuff. We'll start talking about 40K.
Yep. It's pretty easy to do, though.
It is. Yeah, so right now I know I need to take care of trying to print out that the halo light that you made. That's on my agenda.
Yes, I have sent you the files with my button and power part changed. Because I took the original files off of Thingiverse. I have yet to re-upload my files, but I made it so that you can put a on and off switch and a plug for it instead of just having like loose wires.
Nice.
So it makes it a little bit cleaner. Also, I made the feet a little bit more robust because of those additions so that it stands a little bit sturdier. I made the original feet that came with it, and I wasn't very happy because the way the file set up is it doesn't join until it gets high enough. So it has like one skinny piece that's like 4 layers thick that just sticks out, and then it goes high enough and then creates a bridge where when it was doing that, I was getting a curl right there from the heat. Even when I was taking care of the bed, just because it was such a tiny piece compared to the rest of it, that it would still complete, everything will look great, but it had the smallest little curl to that little sliver.
Yeah.
And when you put it together, it caused it to rock a little bit. So what I did is made it completely like solid, and then goes up and then creates the button point and then goes up again. And because it's solid like that, it doesn't curl, and it made it nice and steady. So the first time I put it together, it just laid nice and flat, and I was like, yes, it's exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah. No, that thing's the sickness. Yeah.
Yep.
I wish I had a picture ready. It's been a little bit. It was difficult to be prepared tonight. I was filming a couple of bat reps right before we got on here, getting ready for a Kill Team Commander tournament this upcoming weekend. Once again, talking about wargaming instead of 3D printing. But what do you got there? Is that part of it? Is that part of it?
No, this is another thing I printed that I printed actually a while back. That I designed the base for. I just remixed someone else's file, and I just went to the hardware store and got the bolts needed. So it was like $4 in bolts, maybe, if that.
Yeah, see if you can get that on cam there. Damn, I think pretty impressive.
Let's see. I need to see this. Okay, so it's just an actuating like light.
Damn, that's sick.
And all this like moves and stuff.
I like the tray underneath too. The tray's cool.
Designed the part for the power to go in and out. I have yet to wire it. The on-off switch is right here. It goes right there.
Sick.
And then for the underside, I have a little hatch that like you would see in a remote control.
Okay.
A little battery hatch.
Yeah.
Instead of having batteries, that's where I'm going to have all my wiring done, so that there's going to be nothing exposed. Because the idea is this will be an added like bedroom desk lamp.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You could for fun's sake, just like on the green screen dice tray, you could easily put a WCG on one of those joints there.
Oh, definitely. This is just the first prototype, but the way it works is an LED strip will go on this side, an LED strip will go on this side, and then it feeds the wire through that way. The wires will be exposed on the back, kind of that industrial look, but there's clips to clip the wires so they're not loose, and then it goes down into a little hole right there.
Right.
And then the button's going to be right there. I did get this two-part switch, and I have yet to do like 2 lights on one switch. So that's why I haven't wired this yet, because I had too much painting to do.
Sure.
But the way this switch works is when you go this way, one light lights up. When you go this way, another light goes up, and when you're in the middle, it's off.
Okay.
Well, the way I want it to work, and I know you can do it, I just haven't figured it out yet, and I haven't really tried. But I want to go this way, only one of the strips light up, and then when I go this way, both strips light up.
Sure.
So it's like a dim and then a bright.
Make it a clapper, dude. Figure that out.
Well, that's easy. You put that on just on your plugs.
Okay.
But, I want the different sensors of like the depths of light.
Sure.
Because
why not?
Sometimes people are sleeping and you don't need that bright of a light.
Yeah. That's dope, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
Making the magic.
Dude, it's truly alchemy. It doesn't always have to be game related, but it's cool that you can make things you can use daily.
Yeah. No, it blows my mind. Yeah, I really want to make the cool thing you made to hold all your tools. That was really sweet. You got that accessible?
I do. My tools, unfortunately, don't stay in it.
Because you're using them, or?
Yeah, I use them and I don't put them back. But
yeah, that thing's helpful.
You can see I use all my other tools because these are the ones I don't use.
Yeah.
But your bed scraper goes here.
Mm-hmm.
A wrench goes here. Wrench goes here. The screwdriver that goes here. Your clippers go here. Your acupuncture needle thing goes here.
Yeah. I need that. I got a mess of stuff everywhere. Oh no.
But it has holes so you can mount it underneath your bed.
Yeah, that's sick.
So that you don't lose all this stuff. The thing that mine's not mounted underneath my bed is because I realized with the stock feet that come with it, it doesn't give you enough profile to put this underneath there. Because the person that designed this file had dampeners. like these squishy ball dampeners underneath their bed.
Right.
And honestly, if you just go up just a 1/4 inch, this fits perfectly. So install some dampeners, and then I will install this underneath my bed. But I have yet to install dampeners.
Yeah, gotcha. Man, yeah, you mentioned painting. It got me thinking about how excited I am to see all this Worlds Overrun terrain painted up and on the Battlegrounds table. It's going to be fantastic.
Oh, definitely. I'm excited. This is what I'm currently working on.
Oh,
I start working on that
damn. Where'd that come from?
This is our buddy Gordito's.
Wow.
So,
That's not, it's like Shapeways? What is that?
No, Shapeways is a 3D printing 3D printing service. This is Raging Heroes, I believe it's called.
Okay. Got some.
Yeah.
Got some.
Of like a keeper of secrets.
Got some pretty voluptuous breast assists there.
Yeah. It does not come with nipples. I painted them on.
Oh wow. I guess that's the man in me. I just can't do nothing but stare at them. I'm trying to look at the rest of the model. That's an attractive Slaneshi lady there.
Yeah, she's trying to keep some secrets.
Yeah, she's
Victoria's.
It's like you're staring at the breast assist and you get your head chopped off, pretty much.
I really hope Gordito calls her Victoria.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Victoria's Secret, because she's keep her secret.
Okay. Nice. Very good, very good. Well, shit, Dizzle. Let's see. So yeah, one of the greatest days of my life.
I'm so happy. So happy for you.
God damn, I was only imagining how happy I would be, but to experience it, I was fucking thrilled, dude. Oh my god, I was just like, it's like when you're on a roller coaster and you can't help but scream. I was just like, oh yeah.
And I can just feel your frustrations of just being like, fuck it, I just want to throw them away. I don't want to look at them ever again.
Oh.
I felt those frustrations through text, through the interwebs.
I felt like a fucking loser. Oh, it's because we went in deep, y'all. We don't take anything half-assed. We literally started a fucking LLC business. We fucking branded this shit. I've gotten fucking UPC codes. We got goddamn packaging material, partnership with a gaming store. Like, we went to work to make this a reality. We fucking bought a license from Worlds Overrun. Like, we didn't just half-ass do this. And this is before I barely even owned a printer. So when shit hit the fan, man.
They say, like, we didn't half-ass this, but, like, some people were saying, wow, you guys really half-assed this. It's all perspective.
Yeah. Well, basically, we said we're going to dive straight in and sink or swim. And I was thinking I was going to drown in failure.
Yeah, we just live by the motto, consistent action.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of waiting for things to become perfect and never getting around to it because life and money doesn't work out the way you want it to. If you consistently act towards completing your mission, then you're going to.
That's right.
It might be sloppy, but you're going to get there.
That's almost verbatim what Gary Vaynerchuk says. James and I both are some Gary V fans, and he was saying the other day that a lot of people think and a lot of people talk, but there's not much action. And that's really, like, for all the folks out there that have dreams to bring to light. If you're just thinking and you're just talking, then you're not taking steps forward, really. And that's kind of shit. That's where I need to. I've been procrastinating the Patreon video, dog, just because I want it to be so perfect, and I just got to go.
Hey, good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's right.
You guys don't know what I'm talking about when I say good. Just look up Jocko Wilkins. Good. You'll understand. If you're a real badass, you'll understand. Some people might find it offensive, but if you don't find it offensive, good.
Yeah, I'll tell you that. Like the opportunity or whatever, just like that, I could never have felt such a feeling of joy that I did today without the failure coming first. If it was all just easy peasy, then everybody'd be printing it, and without the challenges and obstacles of life, then there'd be nothing to overcome, and you'd never grow stronger,
Yeah, but after you get over it, it's like,
oh my god,
that was it. Like,
I'm top of the world. I'm top of the world, ma.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what were you even worried about? What were you stressing about? Like the whole time, you should just been like, good. Knowing that reward day is coming.
Yes, I will. I'll have less fear in the future when things go wrong. But damn, well, I'm excited to get home and see a fucking beautiful print. I want to print everything. We got to get more printers. Now it's just more everything. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. It's hard to think about the future right now, James.
It's hard to think of the future.
Like, I feel like there's so much happening right here, right now that I got this one, somebody's trying to hit me up to do a festival in August, so we go play some music, and I'm like, dude, August? I can't think of fucking August. March is coming up, and March is insane.
And that's the thing is, like, as you, like, start to do things and create action and constantly work forward to, like, an end goal, it's not necessarily, like, that 5-year plan, that 10-year plan. Like, you're not looking at the month on the road. Like, your days are so busy that it's like the next minute, the next hour. Like, you're just living the day at the moment because there's nothing else in front of you besides the end goal. Mm-hmm. So every action you do creates that next action. So it's like, I can't look that far.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to create more opportunities from now until then. And it's all about taking advantage of each and every one of those opportunities. And, like, that's how successful people are. They look at the seconds in the day, not necessarily the days in the week.
Yeah, it can be challenging, and there's sacrifices that have to be made. I mean, like, you know, your buddies want to go out and party, but you're like, dude, I'm about to get on stream. Sorry, you know what? Like, whatever. There's choices to make in every moment, and by not saying that fucking we make all the best ones, but you know, just you're trying. It doesn't come easy, and you have to make moves.
Yeah, and it's all perspective, because the thing is like, you could go out and party with your friends, and that's great and all. But you can also create, like, a future for yourself and do things that you enjoy. And it's like, well, like, I don't have the maximum amount of fun at this very moment, but I'm having more fun than when I'm doing that one thing than those dudes that are at work.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's all perspective. Like, my overall life will be better because I live by this second by second, this minute by minute, over, like, trying to cover all the bases and live into the future. Because the thing is like, future's not really promised. Yeah,
that's the thing, is that even if you die the next day, at least for me, it's all about being proud of myself for doing my best. You know, like no regrets, and I would regret. I hate wasting time because that leads to regret, and so, you know, just it's always the path that progress is always the one that kind of directs my day. I know that can be, man. Last night I was here at the game store from noon till 2 in the morning, and at 2 in the morning was when I was like, I was still amped. I was like, all right, I really should record this Patreon video, but I'm like, dude, I've been fucking gaming for 12, 13 hours. And I wasn't just gaming. I taught a big crowd of people yesterday how to play Kill Team. It was really fun. Played some Gaslands too.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
Next time you gotta have a camera to record all that.
I know. I didn't. Well, man, I don't. You know, it's hard to teach and record.
Oh, I get it. Yeah. You need a crew there.
Yeah.
You need a crew recording you teaching.
Well,
I get what I'm saying.
It's also the peeps don't necessarily feel comfortable being on camera when they're inexperienced. Good. Yeah.
Good.
Oh Lordy. Well, we've had a pretty silent chat. We've had 2 silent watchers. One of them is probably us checking out the scene.
Hey, Edgar V, what up?
Oh, there we go. There's a little bit of hello. How do you do? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, man. We're just sitting here rambling on about feeling good about life and the challenges that are what it is to be an entrepreneur trying to make it in this world.
I mean, we're still so young in the 3D printing world that we're just overcoming the obstacles as we get them.
Yeah.
And as far as, like, designing new things and going forward, it's a slow time, like, learning and doing at the same time. But what's nice is, like, you still end up having stuff done and you still end up learning in the process.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm okay with this slow crawl right now because we're doing some big things, because especially with tabletop, like, I'm really struggling and I'm going to make it happen. It's a goal to design Nova-style terrain, the giant L in the middle, for tactical evenness. But that type of terrain takes out of immersiveness.
Yeah.
So I am trying to find a way that hits a economical, yet easy enough where it's just a tactical L, but still immersed enough with all the greebles and doodads that take you into the game. And honestly, GW's new terrain does a great job at it, but they open up all this like line of sight blocking, and not everyone plays LVO style or ITC style where the first floor blocks line of sight. So I want to design it where it all blocks line of sight. And GW's terrain does not do that. So trying to figure out a way that it's simple and easy where you can put it in a small little box where you just print out 3 panels, stick it together, you got your L, get your floor, get your walls, and it all looks nice.
Yeah, the floor is an important component because if you don't have that, then it's just a line of sight blocking. It doesn't have any area terrain to provide models cover save for being within it. I was getting some complaints about that at our last event for, you know, tables that were just nothing but rocks and things. Well, I had lots of line of sight blocking. They didn't have any ability to get into the terrain and to get additional benefits. So yeah, and that of course by printing that base, it also increases print time and material as well.
Yeah. So whenever you go vertical or go wide, you're increasing the print time dramatically. It's almost better to have like the more complex, like cylindrical type models, so that it makes your print time a lot smaller instead of covering this huge, large area. Because not only is it, you're putting down plastic, but you're traveling, and that travel takes time. So whenever you're doing these type of things, you have to figure out what's the best way to do it. And when you're going vertical, you're getting the best possible detail. When you're going horizontal, you're getting like the easiest possible way to print something. So my challenge I'm having is, do I do 3 different panels and then everyone's horizontal, then I don't have a whole lot of detail. And then when you go put the panels together, you're just going to have flat sides.
Right.
Like, it works okay for the floor, but it doesn't necessarily work for your wall if you're trying to be immersive. So then do you print 2 different panels to then stick together so that it's easy to print, no supports needed, but you're now printing 5 panels for 1 piece of terrain? It ends up being quite time extensive at that point.
Yeah.
And then you're using a lot of material also. Now, do you do it all in 1 piece where it's just 1 print go, but then you're adding the horizontal travel, the vertical travel, and who knows what can go wrong, because when you're doing multiple parts, if something goes wrong, you can fix it right then and there. If it's 1 long print and something goes wrong at the very end, you just wasted everything.
Right.
So when you're designing these things, it's a lot to think about, especially keying things. It's almost like, do you print something that can go vertical, but it's wide enough to actually stand on its own? It can be detail on both sides, but then how thick do you go? How much plastic are you using? Because if you go too thin, your walls are going to be too thin, and the thing will fail as you start to go too vertical. So many things to think of. And just trying to make it affordable enough where you can just hit print. It takes like 10-15 hours. You assemble it and good to go. And that's what's great about MDMF terrain, the laser cut wood stuff, is they could take a flat sheet, cut it all out, and assemble it, and it doesn't cost very much. Where by using plastic, it costs a lot to do this, even with injection molding. And that's why GW terrain is like $50-$60 in comparison to their miniatures. Even though
their miniatures are pretty pricey too.
And they produce so much that their costs are so small. Like, granted, we know they have huge margins, but in retrospect, it's not that it's any cheaper to make something bigger. It's actually harder a lot of times to make something bigger. And that's why Forge World typically took over the bigger models in the past.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I'm actually getting ready to, I want to have in the store here a nice showpiece for one of these Worlds Overrun pieces. And it's like 20-some different pieces in 136 hours. Here's a shot of it. This is from the Worlds Overrun Thorn set. And this is the Thorn Prime. And this thing is huge, and I'm getting ready to try to, for a good showpiece, I'm going to try to use the putty to fill in all the gaps and get all this glued together as one thick, tight piece. And I look forward to, I really want to see this thing primed up and all put together in one solid piece. It's exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be dope.
Are you going to print a hive to go with it, considering that connects perfectly into a hive?
Did you, as a part of what you have produced for the Battlegrounds package, do you have a hive already?
I have 2 for their package.
Yeah, so I was figuring that once we got yours, then I would have somebody here paint it to match your scheme.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That one we don't have to ship it to you. You don't got to paint it, and
Cool.
yeah, then it'll all match.
And I'm assuming the overgrowth is going to be the same thing because that also connects to a hive.
Oh, totally. Yeah, everything that I printed, basically, we're just going to add to or sell, one of the two. But I do really want to finalize. I want to see these pieces all said and done, and I want to see a table with the whole frickin' catalog on the table. You know.
Definitely.
It's gonna be
I'm
sick.
excited. I'm excited. Time's coming up. I just got some filler primer. I'm excited to start priming some of this terrain and getting painted on it. Speaking of painting, I know this is more Thursday night talk, but I have our kill teams to do, and then this terrain to tackle is what I have to do before Adepticon. And
yeah,
dude, and the sky opens up.
Right.
And then the heavens greet us. It's going to be amazing.
Obviously, just for your for the sake of time crunches and stuff, the space was as much as I'd love to be able to take them along and show them on the board and shit like that. All we care about is the board more so than the team, because we need your Black Templars set most and foremost.
Yes, and we'll have that.
Yeah, the Space Wolf kill team, that's that can come along,
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to see it all said and done.
Yeah.
No stress.
Well, we're kind of coming to the end here.
Yeah.
Our Monday night shows are a little bit shorter than our Thursday night shows, but we still wanted to make them separate so that we don't have one super long show.
That's right.
That jumps all over the place and has no order.
Yeah. No, I've really enjoyed the Tabletop Alchemy shows. I think it's worth the time, and I hope that our friends that catch it, anybody who has actually watched to this point, on the back end, holler out and let us know you like to see this show and you continue to come back. I'm curious of exactly is how much is this worth it to our audience, and we're gonna do it anyways, but we're still curious, because yeah.
Also, if you're one of the just gamer people, is this something that is intrusive to our channel and feel it needs to be on its own channel? Because we're gonna do this either way.
Yeah.
Just matter if it has enough support to create its own channel or not.
Yeah, that would be. I definitely have been intrigued by the idea of setting up cameras and stuff on the 3D printers. I would love to always be showing what's printing, and just it'd be fun if you were like say you're recording the print and to do the time lapse on the back end, but you just hit the live button whenever you go to change filament, and you're just having a quick conversation with the audience out there. That'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Also Twitch is good, because then you can show it live while you're capturing time lapse, and then you can put out dope time lapse music videos. Yeah,
I like that. Comet was asking if we have any tips on resin casting. We don't cast in resin yet, so not really.
Well, speaking of resin casting, I know we're kind of getting to the end here, but one thing dope about 3D printers is you can actually print molds. And if you use TPU, it's a flexible material. Now you need an enclosure for that material, but you can print molds with it, because a lot of slicing software has a mold option, and you can basically have a figure of some sort that you really like. That's an STL file. You turn it into a mold, and it actually prints the negative of it.
Yeah.
So then you can take your resins and print with it. So the TPU, for instance, you would use a silicone release agent. You would cover the entire TPU mold in this, and then you put you put it together. You put a little hole. You can design all this in your slicer software, where you can fill in your resins once it's all cured, and then you can cut it open, and you actually have a resin model instead of a 3D printed model. The only downside of that resin model is it still will have print lines, because the mold had print lines. The best way to make proper molds with using 3D printers, in my opinion, is print out the model that you want, sand it as smooth as possible, because there's many ways to do it with primers, fillers, putties. Get it as smooth as you possibly can to it almost shiny. Coat that in a release agent, and then do a rubber silicone mold the entire thing, so that you have a reusable mold with a perfect model, and you can keep using that over and over again, and that finished resin model that came out of that mold won't have any print lines then.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's a little bit of info on the subject there. James, a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, these are cool things I like doing. It's just things take time. Also materials, also space. I mean,
right.
You can only start so many projects and have so much space for things.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what's the priority, and easy to do with time. But I would love to do some really cool resin stuff. There's actually a Punish Prop Academy, a YouTube channel that is a guy who just makes things. He uses 3D printers, he uses foam, he uses resins, and he just makes a bunch of different things for cosplay. Pretty cool stuff. So if you're into that, check him out.
Yeah, cool. Well, man, I had a good time on the episode once again. Thanks for tuning in, Edgar and Comma Deathwolf. Hope to catch some more of you on the back end. We'll be live this Thursday with our standard talk show on tabletop wargaming, and lots more fun things to come. Couldn't be more excited.
Keep taking fun serious.
That's right. Catch y'all later.